Hi, my name is Muhammad Daniel ARIFFIN bin Ahmad ZAID. I'm from class DME 43 Charlie. My alam ID is alam 018895. And for the project for the 3D modeling, I'm going to do belt roller support, which is like this picture. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the all of the parts one by one, and the assembly, also the exploded view for this belt roller support. Let's go. Okay, for the first part for my project is the base part. Okay, this is the part of the base. Okay, as you can see. Okay, okay. So the first step for the base part is okay, just go to edit sketch, right click, edit sketch. So firstly I click the corner rectangle. Okay, corner rectangle, and I click from this to this, from this point to this point, and I put the dimension 120 at here and 72 millimeter at here. Okay, then after I finish did this rectangular, I go to edit feature. I use the extruded boss, and the millimeter of the thickness is 10 millimeter. So it becomes like this. Okay, then the second step, I choose fillet for this four corner. This is the shape. Okay, and then I'm using M12 tab hole. Okay, edit feature. I'm using M12 hole for this four corner, 1, 2, 3, and 4, using the size of M12 hole specification, type bottoming tab hole, and standard DIN. Okay, right click, and the result can become like this. Okay, the next part, is I sketch a rectangle at the top of this part. I use this sketch, which is corner rectangle, from this point to this point, and put the dimension for this line is 50 millimeter. And here I do not put any dimension because it is similar to this dimension, which is 72. Okay, as you can see, it's fully defined. Okay, then go to the edit feature. I use another extruded boss for 3 millimeter. For 3 millimeter, the thickness of this part, and it becomes like this. Okay, then I use the extrude cut because I want to disappear some of this part. Okay, how do I do that? Firstly, go to edit sketch. I sketch this form using line. Okay, I using line. Then I sketch this one line with dimension of 56 millimeter, and the degree of this line is 45, and the thickness from this line to this line is 3 millimeter. Okay, then I use, let me go see, then I use extruded cut through all, which is mean from this side to this side, through all. Okay, and right click, and the result become like this. This is the first part, which is the best part for my project. Okay, so this is the sketch drawing for the base part. Okay, as we can see, there is 3 plane at this drawing, which is the top plane, front plane, and the right plane. Okay, as we can see, the dimension, this is 120, for this dimension 72. The radius for this fillet is which is 12, 50, then this is 4 hole, which is size of M12. That is for the top plane. And then for the front plane, which is this, the dimension for this is 35, and for this part, which is 10, and here from here to here is 13, because the thickness for this is 3. Okay. The thickness for this is also 3. Okay, that is for the front plane. Then we go to the right plane. As just I show you, the thickness for the top part is 3 millimeter. The total for from here to here is 13 millimeter, and the dimension from this to this is 72. Okay, so this is the sketch drawing for the base part. Okay, so we move on to the second part, which is the bracket part. Okay, so this is the bracket. Okay, okay, we go to the edit sketch. Okay, for the sketch, I choose the top plane, and I use the sketch, which is a corner rectangle, and I choose from this point to this point. I'm drag from this point to this point, and I put the dimension for this top line, which is 72, and this side line 35 millimeter. Okay, as you can see, it's fully defined. So after we already done that, go to the edit feature. Okay, I'm using extruded boss, and I put the thick for this part is 10 millimeter. Okay, and I choose blind, and it become like this. Okay, so for another process, I choose fillet for these two corner only. Okay, this corner and for this corner. Okay, as you can see, edit feature with radius 12 millimeter, symmetric, and fillet type. Okay, it become like this. And next, I'm using extruded cut for this part. Okay, how I do that? Go to edit sketch, and I'm sketching square at here using this another corner rectangle, and I'm choose from this point to this point. I put the dimension at here 5 millimeter, and at here is 4 millimeter. As you can see, fully defined. And after I done this sketch, I'm using extruded cut through all. Okay, through all means from this side through all to this side. Okay, and it became like this. And next one, I'm adding some part at here. Okay, I'm adding. First, I sketch this line and this line using this sketch, which is line, and I put the dimension which is 50 millimeter, and I'm control tab here and give the similar dimension for both line, which is 50 millimeter. And then I sketch a semicircle at here, which is I tap at here and hold it for a while and release, and it became this semicircle. And I put the radius, which is 15 millimeter. After I done that, I sketch circle at the middle of this part, which is in 12 diameter. And make sure it's already fully defined. And after that, make sure this line and this line is perpendicular, and also make sure this line and this line is the same, which with this point. Okay, after that, I go to the edit feature, and I'm using extruded boss. As you can see, I'm using extruded boss for this part and use 8 millimeter. Right, and it became like this. Okay, next, I'm using fillet for these two section, 1 and 2. Okay, edit feature. Okay, I do like this, and I'm using 15 millimeter radius, like this, symmetric, and it became like this. After that, I make 2 holes for this part, this one corner and this second corner, like this. I'm using a straight tab with the standard of DIN, the type of bottoming tab hole, and the size is same, which is M12. And I'm choosing these 2 corner, and the result became like this. Okay. Then after that, I'm adding some part at here, which is I'm using the sketch of circle with the diameter of 30. And after that, edit feature, which is extruded boss, and I'm put the dimension 5 millimeter, and it became like this. And after that, I'm adding some part at here, and firstly I'm sketch this part using line, and I make this right triangle. I make this triangle with this dimension is 40 millimeter, and it's already fully defined. and after that I'm using extruded boss for both side. I'm using blind, and I'm using 5 mm for both side, which is from here to here is 5 mm, and from here to here is 5 mm, and the result is becoming from this side to this side is 10 mm, and it becoming like this. Okay, that is for the second part, which is the bracket. Okay, this is the sketch drawing for my second part, which is the bracket, and here is the top plane, and here is the front plane, and here is the right plane. Okay, for the dimension I put here 72 mm, here is 35 mm. For the radius of the fillet I put 12 radius, 12 mm, and for the circle, for the for the circle I using M12 size, and here is 10 mm, 13 mm. Okay, then for the front plane, for this semicircle, this I'm using with the radius of 15 mm, and for the another smaller circle I'm using the diameter, which is 12 mm. Here is 10 mm. From here to here the dimension is 30 mm. For this radius 15 mm is the fillet for this section. And then for the right plane, here is the circle, which is as shown, which is diameter 30 mm, and 13 mm, 10 mm, 40 mm, and for this part is 35 mm, and this is 4 mm. And that is the sketch drawing for the bracket. Okay, this is the third part of my project, which is the roller part. Okay, as you can see, this is the shape of the roller. Okay, okay, I would like to show you how I make the roller. Okay, the first step, I'm using the center line, which is from this line, and I click this arrow and I choose center line. Okay, and I choose center line, and I put from this point to this point for the first center line, and another center line I put from this point to this point. Okay, so we have two center line. Okay, okay, after that I'm using the just a usual line for the sketch, and before I sketch the line I'm click at this sketch line, and I choose it as a construction geometry. Okay, and after that, after I already selected it as a construction geometry, I'm sketch the line, and firstly I sketch from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here, and then to this point, and then from this point to this point, and then after that it becoming like this shape. Okay, it already became similar for both sides, because I already selected this sketch line as a construction geometry, and this side follow just as I sketch from this side. Okay, and it became like this. And after that, firstly I put this dimension, which is 28 millimeter, this line dimension, and after that I put this dimension for this line, which is 40 millimeter. And after that, I choose this sketch line and I right click, and then I put it as a construction geometry. Okay, after I put it at a construction geometry, I go to the smart dimension and I just give the dimension to this sketch, and I click from this sketch to this, I tap from this sketch to this line, and it automatically goes like this, the line of the dimension. Okay, for the first smart dimension, I put from here to here, and it automatically shoot as 24, the diameter. Okay, 24, and then the smart dimension for this point, which is 30 millimeter, the diameter, and then for this point is 40 millimeter. Okay, and next, the smart dimension, I click here to here, and it becoming 66 millimeter. And after that I click this point, and then this point, it becoming 70 millimeter, and the biggest one, this point to this point, and it becoming 76 millimeter, and it became like this. Okay, after I done all the smart dimension and it's already become fully defined. Okay, I'm using revolve boss. Okay, and firstly I'm choosing this sketch line, this center line. Okay, I'm choosing this center line, and I go to blind, and it rotating 360 degree, and then I'm go to right click, and it became like this. And I'm already finished the third part for my project, which is the roller, and it became like this. Okay, this is the sketch drawing for the roller part. Okay, this is the top plane, front plane, and the right plane. The dimension, this is 28 millimeter, and for this circle, which is 30 millimeter for the diameter, and for the bigger circle, which is 76 millimeter in diameter, and for this section is 6 millimeter. And we go to the front plane, we go from this side to this side is 40 millimeter. Then we go to the right plane. Okay, as shown, is show the diameter for all the circle involved inside the roller, which is, this is 24 millimeter, for this circle is 30 millimeter, for this circle is 40 millimeter, and for another circle, for this circle, which is 66 millimeter, for this circle is 70 millimeter, and for the outer circle is 76 millimeter. And it shows the hidden edge for this part. Okay, next I'm going to show the brush part. Okay, for this is the brush. Okay, okay. It's just the same as the roller part, which is firstly I'm using the center line and I put it from this point to this point. Okay, and I just put the center line first, and after that I'm using the line, and after I'm tap the line here, okay, and then I'm tap this second line, this center line. I'm right click and put it as construction geometry. And after I put it in construction geometry, I'm sketching this sketch. Sketch like this simple sketch. Okay, like this. And after I've sketched the sketching, I'm put and I click at smart dimension. And firstly I'm put the dimension from this line to this line, which is 21 millimeter, and after that from this line to this line, which is 16 millimeter. Okay, this line to this line is 3 millimeter, and after that I'm click at smart dimension and I'm click at the center line and I'm drag to the bottom and I put the dimension, which is 30 millimeter in diameter for the front part, and for the back part I put the dimension as 24 millimeter in diameter. Okay, that is the sketch for this part. And then I'm using revolve boss to the feature. It's just the same as the roller part. I'm click at this center line and it became like this. It is show the product that it will become if I'm using this center line, and the direction is blind and it goes to 360 degree, and I'm right click and it became like this. This is the brush part. Okay, as usual, this is the sketch drawing for the brush part, which is the top plane, front plane, and the right plane. Okay, as the dimension, okay, from here to here is 21 millimeter. The diameter for this back part is 24 millimeter. The diameter for the front part is 30 millimeter. For this part is 5 millimeter, and for this part is 16 millimeter. 16 millimeter. Then from the front of the brush, we can see the diameter for the outer is 30 millimeter, and then for the middle is 24 millimeter in the diameter, and for the inner in diameter, which is 18 millimeter. Okay, so that's the sketch drawing for the brush. Okay, and then we go to the last part of this project, which is the shaft. Okay, this is the shaft. Okay, you can see there is hole in the middle of here, and also there is a hole at here. Okay, 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 let's we go step by step. Okay, for the first sketch for this part is I'm choosing the front plane. Okay, I'm choosing the front plane, and I'm choose the sketch of line, and I'm sketch this sketching. Okay. Okay, first I click from here to here, and then here, here, and here. Okay, firstly I sketch this, the bold one. Okay, and after I sketch this, I put the dimension for all the line using the smart dimension. Okay, which is firstly I'm put for the long line here, which is 80 millimeter. Okay, and after that I put from here to here is 6 millimeter, which is goes same to here, which is 6 millimeter. And after that firstly I'm put 15 at this line, and I'm choosing, and I tap the line here, and I'm click control, and I'm tap this line, and I'm choosing parallel, which is this is 15 and this is also 15, and I put here 50 millimeter, and then I'm put the dimension from this line to this line is 9 millimeter, and it is already became fully defined. Okay, after that go to edit feature, and I'm choosing revolve boss, which is same from the roller part and brush part, and I'm choosing the longer line from the sketch that I have been sketching, that I have been sketched. Okay, I choose that line, and it shows the result that it will become, and it shows like this, and it goes to blind and 360-degree, and we click right, and it will become like this. Okay, settle for the first part. Then we go to the another part, which is we cut into the middle of this part using the extruded cut. Okay. Firstly, I'm sketch the circle in the at the middle of the shaft, and after I sketch the circle, and I put the dimension here, which is the diameter of the circle is 6 millimeter, and the dimension from this line to the center of the circle is 25 millimeter. And then I'm click this point, and then I click Ctrl at the keyboard, hold it, and I click to this point, and I choose it parallel for horizontally, and automatically it will become parallel. It became like this, and it is already fully defined. And after that, I'm using extruded cut for the sketch like this. Okay, and I'm choosing through all both. Okay, which is from this side to this side. Okay, and the result it will become like this. Okay, as we can see, it is already became whole at the middle of the shaft. Okay, and after that I'm use chamfer, and I use it at the end of the shaft, at both end of the shaft. Okay, this side and this side. I'm using the diameter is 1 millimeter, and the degree is 45 degree, and I'm choosing the type, which is angle distance, and right click, and it will become like this. Okay, as you can see, this chamfer. Okay, and for the last part, I'm making a hole at this circle at the front of the shaft, this side, firstly I'm choosing this side of the shaft, and then I'm choosing a hole, the hole type I'm choosing hole, standard DIN, and the type I'm choosing drill size. Okay, and the size of hole specification I put 6 millimeter of diameter. Blind, the diameter is 45 millimeter at the end condition, and I'm choose depth up to shoulder for the end condition. Okay, and then I'm right click and it will become like this. Okay, as you can see, that is the end of the hole. You can see, okay, that is the diameter, the hole for the shaft. Okay, and that is for the shaft part. Okay, this is the drawing for the shaft. Okay, as you can see, here is the top plane, here is the front plane, and here is the right plane. Okay, so we go further to the top plane. As you can see, this is the inside of the shaft. There is 2 holes. Okay, as you can see, the diameter for this part is 12 millimeter, and this is 12 millimeter. Okay, the diameter, and then for the dimension from this line to this line is 15, while from this line to this line is 14, because the dimension from this to this line is 1. As you can see at the front plane, yeah, 1 millimeter. Okay, and then it goes the same from the right side, and to the other side is just the same. Okay, with the 45 degree of angle. Okay, and then we go to the front plane. Okay, as you can see, the dimension from here to here is 50 millimeter, and then the diameter of the circle at the middle of the shaft is 6 millimeter, and then from this line to the center of circle is 25 millimeter. From this line to the center of the circle is 9 millimeter, and this is 18 millimeter of diameter for the outer part of shaft. Okay, then we go to the right plane. When we go to the right plane, and it is 6 millimeter for the middle, for the inner part of circle, and the outer is 18 millimeter in diameter. And then here this circle is 12 millimeter, and for this circle is 10 millimeter. Okay, that is the drawing for the shaft. Okay. Okay, after I have already done for all of the part, and then I'm going to assemble all of the part and became the assembly like this. Okay, let me show you step by step. Okay, first we're going to open Solidwork and choose the assembly. Okay, and then we're going to insert the first component, which is the base component. Okay, then you just click at anywhere like this. Okay, after that I'm gonna do some change to plain white. Then I'm gonna fix this as a float. Okay, after that we're going to align the origin. Okay, it shows us the origin, and we're going to make from this point to this point. it became like this. Line, click right, became like this. Okay, then the origin. Okay, settle for the first part. Okay, and after that we're going to insert the second component, which is the bracket. We're going to insert 1 and 2 bracket. We're going to insert. Okay, it became like this, and I'm going to move the component, rotate the component. I'm left click the mouse and going to rotate the bracket so it will face the base like this. Okay, and I'm going to do the same for the other bracket. Left click, move component so it become more like this. Further, okay, right click. Okay, after I have already done that, okay, I'm going to click this circle, and then I click CTRL control and I click this circle. Going to go to mat. Okay, we go to the concentric. Okay, I'm going to right click again, and it will become like this. Okay, we show us it will become like this. Okay, we're going to do the same for the other circle. Click mat, from this circle to this circle, click concentric. Okay, I'm going to click here, control, and click here, mat. Okay, it will become like this, right? Okay, it can move only up and down. Okay, for the final, I'm going to click this part, control, and click this part, mat, and it will become like this. It will become concentric, and the part already cannot move because it is already attached to the base. Okay, and we're going to do the same for the other bracket. Okay, firstly we're going to click this hole, press Ctrl and click the other hole. We click mat. Okay, right click, we came like this, and then after that going to click this hole, press Ctrl and click the other hole, click mat, right click, okay, only can move up and down. Then go to the face side of the bracket, press Ctrl and then we're going to make it become like this, right click and done for the early part. Okay, then we're going to insert the other component, which is the roller Okay, just click anywhere and going to insert the shaft. Okay, here. Okay, it will become like this. Okay, after I already done that, I'm going to make this shaft and this roller. Okay, firstly I'm going to choose this face of the circle. I'm going to click this face of the shaft. Click. I press Ctrl and I click this part of roller. I click Mat. It will show us the concentric. Okay. Right click. Okay. It shows us concentric and it will move like that. Okay. As you can see, the both of this part can move because it is in float condition. Okay. Okay, it's okay. Just let it in the float situation. Okay. And after that, I'm going to Mat and I'm choose advanced. Okay. Going to Mat. I'm choose advanced. Click and I'm click to width. Okay. Firstly, I'm going to choose this face and this face. As you can see, white selection, phase 1 and phase 2. And after that, for tab selection, I'm going to click this face and this face, the outer face. Okay. And it will show us. And the shaft can be in the center of the roller. And it will become like this. Okay. We're going to right click, and it will become like this. As you can see, the shaft is moving with the roller like this because it is already made with the roller. Okay, it is already done. Next step, I'm going to make this face. Right click, I'm left click and I click this, control, click this face, choose mate, and it will become concentric. Right click, it only can move like this towards the circle only. Okay. After that, going to choose mate and I'm going to advance with. Okay. I'm gonna choose this face of the shaft and the other face of shaft, the outer face, and that is for white selection. And for the tab selection, I'm going to click this face of the bracket and the outer face of the bracket and right click. Okay, it is already be symmetrical, it already be to the center. Okay. For the last part, I'm going to insert the last component, which is the brush. I'm going to insert two of it. Okay, that, after I've already insert the brush, I'm going to click this face and this face. Click this face, press Ctrl and this face, going to matte, become concentric, right click, and it can move like this. Okay, to fix it, I'm going to click this face, press Ctrl and click this face and matte. It will become coincident, right click. Okay. Okay, I'm going to rotate this component. Okay, I'm going to move it so it can be like this. Okay, after it will already become like this, like that, I'm going to click this face, press Ctrl and this face, click matte, right click, and you can come like this. You will move, you can move like this, and just do the same as the first brush, which is click this face, press Ctrl and choose this face, matte. Click coincident, right click, and okay, that is the assembly for all the part. Okay, after that we're going to insert some screw, some bolt into this 4 hole that we already made to the bracket and the base compartment. Going to the library, going to toolbox, and now I'm going to choose DIN. I'm going to bolt and screw, and I'm choosing hexagon socket head screw, and I'm choosing hex socket head DIN 7984. Okay, out, drag it out, and I'm choose to put it at here, as you can see, like that. Okay, for the size is M12 and the length is 20 because from here to here is 10 and here to here is 10, so it total is 20. Thread length, and we're going to choose 20. For thread display, we're going to cosmetic, and we're going to right click. Okay, it will show like this, and we're going to insert all the 4 hole with this socket head. Okay, okay, right click, left click, and left click, cancel. Okay, then it will become like this, and the assembly is already done for this project. Okay, okay, as you can see, this is the drawing for the fully assembly of my project. Okay, as you can see, here is from the top plane, and here is from front plane, here is from the right plane, and here is the isometric view for my assembly. Okay, then I will show you how to do the exploded view from this assembly. Okay, okay, okay. Now we go to the exploded view, and then we click this socket head, all the 4 socket head. Okay, we click to the regular step and drag it out. Okay, we come like that, and I put the diameter 100 millimeter. Okay, click done. And after that, I'm going to explode these 2 bracket. Okay, first I'm left click this part and this part. Then I'm going to choose radial step. Radial step, and then drag it out. Yeah, it will drag out both of it. And diameter I will put 125 millimeter. Okay, coming like that. Done. Then I'm going to drag out this brush, and I click this and this brush, radial, and drag it out, and I put the diameter 100 millimeter. Done. Then I'm change this step to the regular step, and click this shaft, and then drag it out to here. Done. And then I click to this roller, and I'm dragging it out to here. Okay, done. Go to adjust the first. We're going to add some 125. Yes, come like that. Done. Okay, so it will be coming like this. Okay, right click. Okay, now as we can see, this is for the view. You see the collapse. This is the collapse, and then explode. Okay, this is the explode condition. Okay, then we go to the motion study. Yes. Then we go to the motion study. Okay, firstly we go to the setting. Frame per second, I'm using 60 frame per second. Right, then we go to the animation wizard. Then we click to explode, because we want to separate the part like this. Click next. The duration I'm going to put 6 seconds, and start time at 0 second. Then we finish. Okay, and the result, as you can see, play. That, yes, it will be coming like this. Okay, that is for the exploded. Okay, then we click animation wizard. We're going to collapse, which is we're going to combine all of the part again. Next, the duration we use 6. Then the start time we're going to set 7 seconds. Okay, click play. Then finish. Then we can play it from the start. It will show you like that. Okay, done. When we already done, do the exploded view. Go to calculate the motion study. Okay, then we go to save animation. Okay, uh, okay, Microsoft AVI file. Okay, just use it. You must keep it in AVI. Then the custom aspect ratio, we're going to use 6:9 HDTV format, and frame per second we change it to 60 frame per second. Then output entire animation. Okay, then we go to save. Okay, then compressor, we just use the Intel IYUV codec, then we press OK. And we just let the Solidwork do the exploded view for our assembly. Then we just wait a while for it finish. This take a long time because we using 60 frame per second. If we use much lower frame per second, which is such as 10 or 20 frame per second, this process might just take a few time. Okay, just wait for another few seconds. Voila, it's done. Okay, thank you.